Have you ever pondered the intersection of German art and arcade games? It's quite the intriguing fusion, isn't it? Today, we're embarking on a journey that melds pixels with paintbrushes, tracing the evolution of German art in arcade games. We begin in the late 70s, the golden era of arcade games. While Pac-Man and Space Invaders reigned supreme, it was a lesser-known German game, Raster Blaster, that first introduced the aesthetics of German expressionism to the arcade scene. The stark contrast of bright and dark colors, the distorted shapes, and the emotional intensity of the characters were a striking departure from the simplistic graphics of its contemporaries. As we moved into the 80s, German art started to influence not just the visual elements of arcade games, but also their narratives and character development. Games like The Secret of Monkey Island and Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade drew inspiration from German folklore and mythology, weaving intricate stories that kept gamers hooked. The 90s saw the advent of graphic adventure games, and with it, the influence of German surrealism. Games like Myst, with its dreamlike landscapes and intricate puzzles, showcased the abstract and imaginative elements of German surrealism. In the early 2000s, German art started to make its mark on sports video games. The FIFA series, for instance, incorporated elements of German minimalism, with its clean lines, simple shapes, and focus on functionality over aesthetics. And now, in the present day, we see a resurgence of German expressionism in indie games. Games like Limbo and Inside showcase the stark contrasts, distorted shapes, and emotional intensity that characterize the early German arcade games. So what have we learned from this exploration? First, German art has played a significant role in shaping the visual and narrative elements of arcade games. From the stark contrasts of expressionism in the 70s, to the abstract landscapes of surrealism in the 90s, to the clean lines of minimalism in the 2000s, German art has left an indelible mark on the gaming industry. Second, this influence is not just historical but ongoing. Today's indie games continue to draw inspiration from German art, proving that this fusion of pixels and paintbrushes is here to stay. And finally, the intersection of German art and arcade games is not just about aesthetics, but about storytelling. Whether it's the emotional intensity of expressionism, the dreamlike landscapes of surrealism, or the functional simplicity of minimalism, German art has enriched the gaming experience by adding depth and complexity to the narratives and characters. So, next time you're at the arcade or playing a video game, take a moment to appreciate the artistry behind the pixels. You might just find a masterpiece in the making.